Hey FemHype crew!
Hello.
It's Jillian and Paige,
Yep.
and we're bringing you a game called LongStory right now. It's an app game, and we actually covered it in February. We wrote a review, and we saw it on Twitter, and I remember what really caught me about this was the fact that it was somebody on Twitter was talking about it, and they said that you could, right here, I'll show you, you can choose your own pronouns, and you get to choose what you want your character to look like. And I thought that was just groundbreaking and totally awesome, so I had to get the first episode. It's available on Android and iOS. Yeah. So as you can see, I chose she pronouns, she, her, and named them FemHype. And so you're talking with your little brother right now. And what's really cool about this game is that it's like an episodic game where you get to choose your own responses to things, but it gives you a second chance to like decide whether or not that's what you really want to say. Like if you chose something and you go, that's not really how I want to play it, you get to choose a different option. You have to double click it, which I think is really cool. And they have like a little mobile phone like option where you get to talk to a friend that you have long distance, which is also really interesting because this is a dating kind of adventure game. So you can choose to pursue someone who isn't necessarily like near you, which I think is kind of awesome that they even have that like available as an option. And it kind of like, I think it broadens your perspective of like what a relationship is, you know? And so anyway, little backstory with the game, you come to a new school, you had moved away, you lived in France for a year, I believe, and so this is you kind of like navigating your way as like a moody teenager, like into a new environment, and here you meet, you know, what you would expect at a high school in America, presumably. You know, the three girls were kind of like, they have it out for you, but their storyline kind of like expands a little bit.
Don't spoil.
I'm just saying like it gets a lot better and it's not superficial. Like you meet people in this game and you'll go, oh, this is the typical so-and-so, this is a typical whatever. And as you get to know them and you really push them to open up to you, you kind of, it's a very nuanced, queer positive.
Bob.
It's a very positive game, and it's something that I wish I had as a teenager because you can kind of explore who you are and, you know, who you want to be at that age, which is a very difficult age to be at for anybody. So yeah, a lot of queer positivity in this. You know, nobody really questions your identity or who you are, you know, attracted to, and it's a wonderful, wonderful game, I have to say. Really good job. And this is episode 1. That's a free download if you want to try this. I'm pretty sure it's totally free. And the second episode, which is out, is you have to pay for it in the App Store. And then they're coming out with episode 3 sometime this month, from what I saw on social media. So I'm like eagerly awaiting that. So like, yeah, so here we're getting into the kind of mystery aspect of the game. Like this isn't all just a dating app. This is actually you're trying to solve this mystery of all these notes that you found and these weird like messages in your locker from the person who was here before. So it's not all about, you know, who you want to date, and we're actually about to meet somebody who, yeah, this kid, grumpy boy. So you get your like moody, stoic, you know, guy, a la Fenris from Dragon Age. Like he didn't care, he doesn't like you, he doesn't have to like you.
I didn't learn chemistry in grade 4.
He says he's super smart. Mark is his name. He's very like,
I like how he says his name is Mark and then they label it, like, you know how we're labeled FemHype?
Mm-hmm.
His is labeled Marcel, but he doesn't, like, he's angry by that name. So why don't they?
Maybe it's a spoiler, okay?
Also, as a disclaimer, all of this music that you're hearing in the background is not actually in the game.
Yeah.
You'll hear, I mean, you heard a little bit in the beginning of that theme, and you'll hear it again at the end, but I just found free audio on the YouTube audio library and put it in that had a ukulele in it so that it sounded somewhat good. I don't know. I didn't want it to be just silence in the background. I wanted you to have a little fun with this. So
yeah, I would recommend playing some music while you play it, but overall this is like this is coming from a very small team, and these people really care about adding more diversity and representation in all kinds of video games, especially ones that are accessible to people. Like, this is totally inexpensive. You get to play the first episode for free. You know, this is really a team that if you feel like, if you're passionate about supporting people making games for everyone, like, this is definitely a team you should keep an eye on. They have a Tumblr and a Twitter, and we linked to their website in the description. They're all really nice.
Their website, how to download it on iOS, Android, and then our article that we wrote about it, as well as all of the music that I included in this, are all in the description below. So if you're interested in any of that, check it out.
So we didn't play the whole episode 1. We don't want to spoil you totally, but you're getting a sense of the main players right now. Before we were talking to the friendly type, and here's the sports type.
We didn't play all of episode 1?
We didn't. No, it's actually very long.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't want to go...
Weird.
I didn't want to spoil too much.
I thought I saw the credits at the end.
No, because... we'll get to that. We'll get to that. I did want to show the credits just to give, everyone credit for doing the work.
Also, to drop some biz on you, none of these app spotlights are sponsored. If you want to sponsor us, that'd be great. Like,
wonderful.
We'd totally take it, and we would tell you that it's sponsored. But none of these are sponsored. These are just things that we like to play.
Things that we've seen on Twitter.
And things that we think are, stuff that you would like to play as well. We wouldn't want to, show you something that is boring to us.
But we will let you know if, in fact, there is a sponsored...
Yeah. I mean, you have to do that legally, but... Yeah.
Just a reminder. So this is interesting. You get to interact with your mom now. So, you go through your day, you get to talk to everybody, and then, she's trying to be helpful, and it's interesting getting a sense of, the family that you're coming from and, how it's affecting the rest of your life. And you can kind of go with, the moody teen, whatever, Mom. But there's also avenues and, there's openings for you to kind of have more of a conversation with her, which I think is interesting. It depends on how you want to play. And this game really gives you a lot of opportunities to play it the way you want to.
I guess I'm getting kicked out. That's like the mommy guilt trip.
Yeah. Well, we've been
Typical mommy guilt
We've been there.
Typical.
Paige. So yeah, just as a side note, I chose to pursue Nora, who her long-distance friend is. She's homeschooled, rather than pursuing anyone at school, although I might play through it again to see how that goes. But you get an opportunity here to kind of subtly let Nora know that you're interested, and then it doesn't go anywhere initially, but then in the second episode, I think, is when you really get... you get to have your quote-unquote date moment. But I found this more interesting because never before in a game have I played an actual long-distance relationship in the game itself. I can't think of a time where I was actually able to do something like that and have it be a complex relationship, you know what I mean? I don't know,
I feel like I'm more interested in the fact that they're... I feel like when you play a lot of teen games where you play as a teen, there isn't any internet or social interaction through technology. You don't really see that, even though that's a huge part of everyone's life now.
Oh, yeah, it definitely
So I think
is.
when I was, watching this, I found it was more interesting that you even had this option, that you even had friends outside of in Life is Strange. It's people that Max just knows personally, and you've seen them and interacted with them in person. But this is like you haven't interacted with her in person. You're just talking with her through texting and stuff, which I found was cool.
Yeah, the texting thing is really awesome. You do get caught at one point texting in class, but
that happens.
yeah, it's a cute little game, but it's very true to life. Like, I really got a sense of, this is how it is.
I like the artwork too.
Oh, it's so pretty.
I think it looks really cool.
Yeah. She's like the cutest character.
And it reminds me almost of like old comic book games where like they'd have
true.
the little like picture of their, facial expressions and stuff, and then the text next to it.
Yeah, it is very much like that. These two are really funny.
Okay, what's up with this?
With the mystery?
No, they're like, with your locker.
Yeah, so
like,
you'll find out later that a girl
spoil.
named... This is not spoiling, it's gonna happen in this. Like, it's...
Don't spoil. Alright, go ahead.
Well, no, wait, let's talk about this.
I hate this.
This is like the funniest thing. This is like a reoccurring thing. And yeah, you get to interact with the turkey hawk throughout the game, and everybody is kind of freaked out that you're interacting with them.
I remember, like, just the mystery of the mascot. Like, who is it?
Yeah. In high school and stuff?
In college, because there were, like, multiple people who would dress as the mascot. And everyone was like, oh, who was it this time? And then we tried to guess by, like, who they interacted with, like, their friends, Never figured it out.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the vibe they're going for here, or if they're going more for this is
creepy.
This is an actual creature.
Yeah.
With a zipper. I don't know. Like, I've played the second episode and I still don't quite know what's going on with the turkey hawk, but it keeps it interesting. It's a nice little, it's a fun little, addition to it. Like, it spices it up a little bit, I feel like. And it shows who you are as, like, a character, as a person. Like, how are you... I took a screenshot of that. Yeah, like, how are you gonna handle someone who's, like, a social outcast because they're a half hawk, half turkey thing?
I feel like all of this is... I don't know. I feel like this is a really accurate game. Like, accurate portrayal. But, like, not being able to focus with bullies and stuff,
Yeah, they really... And as we see with Life is Strange, it's difficult sometimes to, when you're an adult, to capture the teenage experience. And although I think Life is Strange does it really well, there were certain parts where I was, like, taken out of it with the language.
Nice. Didn't mean to be mean.
Yeah, he's showing his softie side. He is so sensitive.
Oh, that's cool. So you have stuff in common, which always happens. A semi-bully.
Yeah, he feels different. He feels like people treat him differently, so he's going through that. And now he's the one who's going to tell you more about M, who is the one who had the locker before you. And so now that you had that, like, moment together, he's ready to open up about what he knows about the last person who had that locker. So it's a big, like, overarching mystery.
Dun, dun.
Oh, I went with Mark.
Oh, wow. Way to be. It's almost like Mean Girls. Like, here's Janice and Damien, and they're like, oh, you want to hang out with us?
Yes.
And they're like, no, I'm going to go with Regina.
He's not Regina.
He's Regina.
No, Hannah, Jennifer Jane.
He's more... No.
Jennifer Jane.
No. He's more Aaron Samuels.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Oh, no, I can't hang out with you. I gotta follow Aaron Samuels. It's October 3rd.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what it is. Now, there's an interesting thing that goes on here there's a little bit of a culture clash happening, which is, I thought was handled pretty well, and I think it's very true to life. So he's about to tell you, like, what he knows, what he saw M do, and why he thinks she abruptly left school. Which, I will let you figure out. She was kind of weird, so you push the issue. And then it lets you know that it's in her head now that she was thinking that.
No, look, kid.
Okay, so he saw her kissing another girl, which, that's the way you have to respond. Like, it doesn't let you choose, ew, gross. And she's pushing the issue with him. Which I think I think it's really good for this to be talked about, you know? Like, for there to be a character who's, like, confused by it or thinks it's weird, or... At first I was like, oh, why are they doing that with Mark? Because, you know. So yeah, he explains that in the place that he comes from, it's not really done in public, it's not really talked about, and I think that that was really huge for a character who, like, they could have just made him the bad guy. Like, ew, that's gross, I'm a homophobe. No, they talked about the fact that, you know, he thought it was a little strange, but he also recognizes the fact that where he comes from, it's just not done. So maybe it's his issue. And they had a good conversation about it, and then it was over. Like, that's how it should be. Like, that's a great thing to, like, teach people, so you could be playing the game, and that moment comes up, and then a light bulb goes off. Oh, wow, maybe because I come from this culture, or I come from this family, or whatever the case may be, that's why I have those prejudices.
I think that's so important to put in a game, especially because a lot of app games are, like, teen related and teen focused, like, audience wise. I think that's so important, especially, like, Life is Strange, I feel like, was teen. When you're gonna put stuff in high school, like, you have to, so many kids now have smartphones and are playing app games all the time, you have to put some learning experiences in it.
Because that's what being a teen is. It's learning. You mess up, and then people call you out on it, or you know, whatever the case is, and you learn. And I think that Life is Strange really didn't... I don't mean to, like, compare this to Life is Strange. I'm definitely not comparing the two, but because it was, like, something we just played, and it's, like, teen-focused. But
it's not the same thing.
In any way, no. But I feel like Life is Strange didn't do that. There was never a moment where they had a real discussion about, you know, sexuality or gender identity, or there was never, like, a who am I, you know, kind of moment, and it desperately needs that. Like, it doesn't feel like real teenagers unless that happens. Like, you have those conversations. So, good job, LongStory.
Oh, is she the girl who was with... What was her name?
Oh, was with M? I don't think so. I don't remember that ever coming up.
Kind of a jerk to her.
Yes, the two of them have a little bit of a history. But I won't spoil.
I'm hooked.
Yeah, I'm not going to say too much, but whenever they're kind of together, Mark tries to avoid her because he doesn't want a confrontation. But when they do get together, they really argue, and it gets nasty. And then you discover, I think in episode 2, you start to uncover things that happen between them that they're really upset about, and they haven't really worked through it all. So you're kind of like the person trying to mend these situations.
How did she only know Hannah for Jean? She knew all of them? How did she know those?
I think you're talking about FemHype, who we're playing. Yeah, I think that she had originally gone to this school district, and then her family moved to France for a while, and then they came back. So she's a childhood friend of either one of the trio.
Probably all of them.
Probably all of them.
Maybe she was in it at one point. Maybe it was Hannaford Jane Hype.
Hannaford Jane Hype.
Yeah.
Alright.
I like that.
Let's just call them that.
Okay.
I love when people make Sherlock Holmes references in games. It was my favorite. Did you
but
just
when
sigh?
Max Caulfield makes it, you're like...
No?
Yeah. You're like,
Chloe said
wow,
it.
Max, wow.
Chloe said an out of time.
Something's wrong with all of us.
Yeah, I think this is... I ended it around here, right? This is about...
Nope.
Oh, I didn't?
Nope. Keep going. It's kind of a long conversation.
Yeah, well, you're trying to relay... So the thing about, like, this relationship is you kind of... She becomes, like, your... Instead of having a journal, you know, you kind of come back home at the end of the day and you, like, unload all this information on her and she helps you kind of sort through it, which I think is an interesting mechanic rather than look at your journal. Oh, cool, that's what I did. All right, bye, you know?
Yeah. I like that you, like, have someone, because I feel like right now, FemHype is very alone.
Yeah.
And it's nice that she has, like, someone to talk to when she goes home. Because, like, when you're a teen, you don't want to talk to your mom.
No.
I mean, some people do, but FemHype's not like that. So it's nice for her to have someone to, like, vent about the day with. Even though people are trying really hard, but...
Yeah. So you get a little bit of... So Mark isn't really that big of an ass. Colin needs help with his homework. Mark is going to help him out. He's just...
Oh my gosh, wait, Colin's face there reminds me of Sokka from Last Airbender. Like the big, huge smile. The big, huge grin.
He's a lot like that. He's a bit of a goofball.
I like it.
Can you... So developers, can you put a boomerang in this?
Oh my gosh.
Is that a thing that can... Is that copyrighted by Avatar?
Probably.
Boomerangs?
The boomerangs are owned by The Last Airbender.
Yeah. I think that'd be cute. There he is.
See? It looks like him.
Yeah. So this is interesting. He needs help after school. He's a YouTube sensation, which I thought was really funny. Gaming videos! Okay, so he needs help with that. And right now they're forcing you to choose who you want to spend time with after school. Mark in the creepy stairwell where he, like,
Colin. Did
stands.
you choose Colin?
Okay, no
you
because...
didn't. Wow.
I almost did.
He's a YouTube sensation.
Okay,
he would get us views.
Wait. Okay, Colin, who's a YouTube sensation, or Abby, who's needs help with her dance choreography that she's doing. She's a dancer.
I can't dance, so I wouldn't do that.
Well, okay, but I knew from playing this before that Nora is also an option, and because I am pursuing Nora romantically, I had to go with Nora after school.
So you said, no to you. I'm gonna chill with my phone later.
Yes.
Wow. That sounds right, you know.
That's me. I got caught.
Well, yeah, because you held your phone up in front of your face, it looked like.
I never said that FemHype was, you know, too swift.
Stealthy. There's no stealth in this game.
Yeah. Yeah, so she actually might be pursuing, I believe it's an art degree. There's a specialized art program, yeah. And she's thinking of applying, but she's homeschooled and her mom is, like, really overbearing and she doesn't have the confidence right now to, you know, put herself out there that way. I think she would have to leave in order to get that degree or that, like, those classes. So we're helping her out right now after school. I'm standing in the hallway alone. But I'm not really alone. See, this opens that discussion. Like, this is somebody I really care about. This is somebody who...
Why are you yelled at in class and not in the hallway? I was yelled at in the hallway in high school.
Well, I think it's after...
away, ladies. What? I'm not even in your classroom. You don't control me.
This is getting intense now. I didn't realize it was going to open up history with you, with your teachers.
Oh, don't even get me started. I could make like 12 videos on that.
I think this is after school right now.
12 20-minute videos.
Oh boy.
30-minute videos.
GLaDOS hype.
Yeah, follow me at GLaDOS hype. Seriously though, none of this is sponsored.
Yeah.
Today when I was tweeting more Dragon Boss things, I was like, I think people will think this is sponsored.
Because you're so into it.
So I wanted to just tell you,
Yeah.
it's not.
Right, so we're bookmarking it here now, and that means you can return to that save point whenever you want. But yeah, that's a little bit of LongStory. Not the whole episode. You have to go play it for free and then buy the second episode. So yeah,
I liked it.
Yeah, you did?
I think that's cool. Now I want to play it.
I have it. You can take my phone and play it.
Alright. Gimme.
Okay, I'm passing it over.
Alright.
Thanks for joining us.
That was it, man.
We'll see you later.
I hope you enjoy the music that's happening right now.
Oh yeah, this
Beautiful.
is in-game music.
Yeah.
This is a real one now.
Real life.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Thanks for watching.
See you next time.
Bye.